Good evening, fellow Toastmasters.
Good evening.
I have the following announcements. For the upcoming weeks, the following roles have been booked. For the meeting which is going to be held on next Monday, that is 18th of August, the role of General Evaluator is booked by DTM Subramania, Table Topic Master by Toastmaster Jyothi, Toastmaster of the Day, Toastmaster Apoorva, and the speech slot is booked by Toastmaster Deepa, Toastmaster Prashant, and Toastmaster Ritika from Republic of Toastmasters. All the other roles are open. And for the for the meeting which is going to be held on August 25th, the following speakers have booked a speech slot. One by Toastmaster Rahul, and one more speech slot is booked by Toastmaster Sachin. All the other roles are open. I request all of you to kindly let me know if anybody is interested to take up the other roles which are open. And the next announcement is, I request all the members to fill their name, pathway, level, project completed and mentor's name. I'll be passing out this sheet. This will help us to know where each member of our club stands and also help us to plan in achieving the necessary DCP points. So I'll be passing out, and I know few people have already filled it up the previous meeting. Who haven't filled it up, do fill it up. And one of the most important announcement is that we'll be conducting the Moments of Truth session on August 25th. For those, I know we have a lot of new members. For them, I'll explain what is Moments of Truth. It is that part of the meeting, of our club session, where we evaluate various aspects of our club and the meetings. We will speak about the areas where we shine and also discuss about the areas where we have to work on, and speak about the necessary measures we'll have to take as a group, as a whole. The aim is to improve the quality of our meetings and experience to our Toastmaster members, to improve the overall Toastmaster experience of each and every member of our club. So I request everybody to be present on August 25th, and to conduct the Moments of Truth, we need a minimum attendance of 50% to go forward with it. So it's a request to each and every member to make it a point to be there on August 25th. Thank you, and now I would like to ask the acting sergeant to take over Toastmaster Shuba.
Unless you are all living under a rock, I'm sure every one of you would have heard about AI in some or the other context. It's become the catchword of the century to stay relevant with the times, and also to sell things, much like how the word Korean is slapped onto everything these days in the food industry. A very good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests present.
Good evening.
Recently, my parents were watching this YouTube video and they were staring at the TV, raptured. I came around and also started watching the TV. The video was set in this icy cold sea where a group of these sailors on a ship had rescued a whale, and they were removing the many barnacles that were stuck on the back of it. I was also completely engrossed in it, but after watching for a few seconds, something felt off. The whale itself sort of changed shape slightly with each frame. And another thing that I remembered a senior colleague telling me was to look out for the fingers. So when I saw the hands of those people, it was morphing from 4 fingers to 8 fingers, and that's when I knew and had to break it to my parents that this was indeed not real, but made by an artificially intelligent being. Can I say being? Maybe not yet, but in a few more years and with many more bots trained, real and artificial will be a blurred line. The future of AI is a little scary because it makes jobs redundant, but here's a prompt for your real intellects. Is saving time and effort by giving our tasks to AI benefiting us, or are we just becoming a lot lazier, duller, and less original?
Yes.
now I'd like to introduce a special person who would be hard to regenerate with AI. She's a fitness enthusiast who loves sports, especially basketball, badminton, and table tennis. She's a hard worker and always ready to take the stairs rather than the lift. Uh, Please join me in welcoming our acting president for today, Toastmaster Apoorva.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guest.
Good evening.
I see a few rooms in the. I see few guests in the room. I request you to stand up wherever you are and kindly introduce yourself. You can start off by telling your name, what you do, and how you got to know about our club.
Myself, Mithun, Veerabhadrappa. I'm from Kerala. So I work in a hospital here. I'm a physical therapist by profession. So I'm here to improve my communication skill and public speaking skill and presentation skill. That's it.
Thank you, Mr.
I'm Shivaprasad. So I'm a qualified CA working in Guruvendana. So I heard about the club from a very long time. So I've been here in Bangalore for quite a long time. So it's been a long time plan to join here, but now everything came together. So I thought of improving my public speaking skills by joining the club.
Thank you.
My name is Jyothi. I'm a graphic designer and UI designer. So I'm studying in Bangalore. So I got to know about the Toastmaster by my brother. He's also a member of this Bhat. So I need to improve my communication and public speaking skills.
Thank you.
My name is Anish. I'm a content marketer for a cybersecurity company, and I also run a YouTube channel on the side where I talk about like Indian history and some current events and things like that. So I want to join. I was thinking about joining Toastmasters because I'm good at reading stuff off of the script, but not so much doing extempore speaking. And I heard about this through a friend in college, so I thought I'd give it a shot.
So I hear most of them are here to improve their communication skills. I must say you're at the right place. Hoping to see you all soon become our members. Thank you. Hope you have a good time in today's meeting. Now I would like to request Toastmaster Madhu to read out the minutes of the meeting.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. This is the minutes of the meeting for last week, meeting number 1328. The theme was information is not knowledge. The word of the week was transcend, and the business session started at 6:24 p.m. and was chaired by President Lata Nahar. In the business session, the following points were discussed. The President made these following announcements. She extended appreciation to the Executive Committee for completing a month in the role successfully. And she also encouraged members to take up more TAPG and MTG roles and in booking more speaking slots. She brought to the notice of the members regarding the etiquette about leaving the lectern early and about giving handshakes to the other members. And she also requested AK Prabhakara DTM to enlighten members on how to address the audience based on who is calling the members to the lectern. She also mentioned about the intention of discussing with the club success plan with the executive committee to achieve the goals for the term. Next, Vice President of Education Toastmaster Apoorva made the following announcements. She asked the members to provide details related to their pathways, level, project, and mentor information to help understand where everyone is positioned, which in turn would help the club in the club success plan. She also mentioned that for the meeting on the 11th of August, the roles of the General Evaluator and the Table Topics Master had been booked along with 3 speech slots. She asked the members to book roles in advance and not to cancel or postpone, as it would lead to difficulty in planning, thus leading to confusion. Post this, the regular meeting started at 6:31 p.m. Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Rachana started the meeting with an introduction on the theme and later handed over the charge to President Toastmaster Lata. President Toastmaster Lata opened the meeting, spoke on the theme, and introduced the Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Jyothi. The Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Jyothi, spoke on the theme and introduced the role takers for the day. These were the following role takers. Timer was Toastmaster Deepa Krishna Reddy. Our counter was Toastmaster Sakshi. PP Evaluator was Toastmaster Sachin, and Grammarian was Toastmaster Nandakishore. There were 2 speakers for the day. The first speaker was Toastmaster Suresh Jagannath in the Pathway Presentation Mastery, completing his Level 1 Project 1, and the evaluator was Toastmaster Puneet Surana. The second speaker was Toastmaster Aadishwar J, again the same Pathway Presentation Mastery, completing the project Level 1 Project 1, and the evaluator was Toastmaster Shuba Subramaniam. There were a total of 11 table topic speakers, and it was helmed by Toastmaster Apoorva. The general evaluation was conducted by Toastmaster Lalana Murthy, and the winners of the week were Best Prepared Speaker, Toastmaster Aadishwar. Best Evaluator was Toastmaster Puneet Surana. Best Table Topic Speaker was Toastmaster Chetan Vashisht. Best Role Taker TAPG was Toastmaster Sakshi, and Best Role Taker MTG was Toastmaster Jyothi. The President closed the meeting at 8:35 p.m. followed by the National Anthem. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhusudan. Are there any amendments? No? Then I would like to open meeting number 1329. AI and I is the new reality of today's world. Gemini is by Google, ChatGPT is by OpenAI, Siri is by Apple, and Alexa is by Amazon. The basic software that we use on a daily basis, like WhatsApp, offers AI. I'm sure everybody is aware of it, right?
Yes.
Now I ask you, is there anybody in the room who's not used AI till date? Give me a raise of hands. Nobody. That's what I thought. This is how we are getting hooked to these technology and softwares without even realizing. It has become the new normal. Little by little. It starts with, Alexa, what's the time? Hey Siri, what is the date today? ChatGPT, could you quickly draft a leave letter for me? And we are moving from, let me figure it out, to, let me just ask AI. We are replacing our efforts with laziness. Few years back, say during my grandparents' era, that time there were very few landline phones and more letters. Even though they weren't highly educated, they knew all the addresses and phone numbers at the tip of their tongue. Even when I was in school, I would remember all the landline phone numbers of my friends and family like this. But today, when I own a smartphone, I barely remember 1 or 2 phone numbers. I got my very first phone when I was in my second PU. No, it was not a smartphone. All through my college life, I didn't have a smartphone. No GPS, no Google Maps, nothing. And I'm thankful for it. You know why? Because of this, I know the nook and corner of all the areas of South Bangalore. Be it Indiranagar, Kormangla, Jayanagar, JP Nagar, MG Road, Brigade Road, you name it, I know the routes to all of them. All the multiple routes as well. Bonus, I know the secret shortcuts to reach there in half the time. But today, if you ask a person to go to a new place, what does that person do? He just quickly opens his phone and opens Google Maps. Even though that person is traveling there for the 10th time, he is not familiar with the route. He still needs Google Maps. Whereas, if the same person was traveling by asking for directions, speaking to people nearby, and figuring out the route, that route would have been permanently etched in his memory, in his mind. Do we even realize what's happening? the more we use our technology, the less we use our brains. That's the sad reality. With the introduction of calculators, we forgot our basic additions and subtraction. With the introduction of mobile phones, we stopped remembering small stuff or important things too, as well. With the introduction of smartphones, we are losing our presence of mind. And now, with the introduction of AI, we are losing the capacity to think, analyze, and sometimes even complete our sentences. Because ChatGPT is going to do it for us. We are losing the touch with I because of AI. Let me make a small confession. Let me be frank with it. When I heard the theme AI and I was preparing for my presidential address, I also searched for it on ChatGPT. And you know what it told me? Collaboration is the key. Yes, ChatGPT replied that collaboration is the key. AI amplifies human potential. You know what? I refuse to agree this. I believe authenticity is the key. Let's not lose I to AI. Fellow Toastmasters, the next time you and I are traveling to a new place, let's try to figure out the route by speaking to people and asking for directions. The next time you're asked to write a speech, let's put that little extra effort, let's spend that extra time to write one immaculate speech. Let's keep the hype alive in the age of AI. Because authenticity is the key. On that note, I would like to introduce someone who is as dynamic as her hobbies. Before you think, before you, sorry. Our hobbies are sailing and taekwondo. She is someone who enjoys reading. She is an adventure seeker who likes hiking. She has a master degree from NYU. With a huge round of applause, please welcome the Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Rachana.
There's been one question that has been relentlessly dogging me for the past couple of months. Every time I try to do any digital task, should I use AI? Writing an email to a colleague, should I use AI to complete this sentence? It'll give it a better flow. Writing a Toastmaster speech, should I use AI for just this paragraph? It'll give it a nice narrative structure. Now, I haven't succumbed to the latter part just yet, but I don't know how long I'll last. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and welcome guests. Now, you might have heard about this, but there was a recent MIT study that talked about the effect of using AI on everyday tasks. The more the participants relied on using AI for their daily tasks, the greater was the effect on their critical ability, their problem-solving skills, and it was affected negatively. Now, when this came out, this was huge. Everyone was talking about it on social media, every type of social media that you can think of. And the study was meant to encourage people to take a closer look and be more skeptical of their AI usage. And maybe it did have that effect, but one effect it did have was the opposite. A lot of people, because this is an academic paper, it's very rigorous, it's hard to understand, a lot of people ended up using AI to read the paper. And those were their opinions that they put up on Twitter, Instagram, on this paper. Now, I freely admit that I was one of these people who actually did that. I did not read the paper, I just dumped it into ChatGPT to understand what it actually talks about. So, on one hand, we have AIs that can write entire emails, entire mobile apps. We have corporates that are pushing their employees to use AI. In fact, you have companies that are saying your KPI or your performance metric depends on how well or how much you use AI. On the other hand, you have several careers, including mine as a software engineer, that are at risk of becoming obsolete because of AI. So, maybe the question is, so, I guess the question is, what do you do when you're living in a world like this? Where do you even start comprehending what your next step should be? Personally, I have found that it starts with asking better questions. So maybe it's not what should I use AI? Maybe the question could be, how do I use AI more strategically to help me learn and grow as a person in my professionally, personally, etc. It might even look like using AI to give you feedback on your Toastmaster speech after you have written and delivered it, so that you are more prepared for your next speech. That way you're not hobbled by using AI while writing the speech itself. Anyway, so now there is one person who definitely had the right questions and he eventually found the right answers. No prizes for guessing. I am talking about Ralph C. Smedley, the founder of Toastmasters. He started Toastmasters in 1924 as a single club, and it has since ballooned into this multinational organization spanning 14,000 clubs. So let's come to the structure of the meeting for those who are new. The meeting usually consists of 3 sessions. The first is the prepared speech session. As the name suggests, the speakers come up here with a prepared speech and deliver it, usually between 5 to 7 minutes. The second is the energizing, love it or hate it, table topic session, where people are chosen randomly and asked to speak extempore. And the third is the critical evaluation session, where the entire meeting, the proceedings, the speakers are evaluated. Now, to help the evaluator do their job, there is an entire team of people who are ready to do this. So, as I call your name, please stand up and briefly explain your role. Let's start with the timer, Toastmaster Samir.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. As a timer, I will time the table topic speaker, formal speeches and evaluation. I will also alert each speaker of the time they have left using green, yellow and red cards, which denotes the specific time remaining. Table topic speakers should limit their remarks to no more than 2 minutes. At 1 minute, I will raise green card. At 1 minute 30 seconds, I will raise yellow card. At 2 minutes, I will raise red card. And for speakers, for 5 minutes, I will raise green card. 6 minutes, I will raise yellow card. And at 7 minutes, I will raise red cards. The individual evaluation should be between 2 to 3 minutes. For 2 minutes, I will raise green card. 2 minutes 30 seconds, I will raise yellow card. At 3 minutes, I will raise red card. I would like to mention the time deterrence in our meetings. I will give my report during the general evaluation time. Thank you.
Next up, can we have the hour counter, Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. The purpose of the hour counter is to note words and sounds that are used as crutch and or pause filler by anyone who speaks. During the meeting, I will listen for overused words including and, well, but, so, and you know. I will also listen for filler sounds including I will also note when a speaker repeats a word or a phrase such as I or this means. At the end of the meeting, I will report the number of times that each speaker used these expressions, not through AI, but personally I'll give. Thank you.
Next up, we have the Grammarian, Toastmaster Gajendra.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and guests present here. As a grammarian, my job is to note down all the good usages of the good usages, the bad usages, and anything if I find very funny or likewise. And the word of the day is immaculate, which means perfectly clean, neat or tidy, free from flaws or mistakes. And example is Gajendra's speeches are so immaculatingly well defined. Yeah, I don't think that's it was right. Okay. Anyway, I'll give my report at the end of the day. Thank you.
And finally, we have the PPE Evaluator, Toastmaster Vikram.
I am given the responsibility to observe the behavior and disclaimer, please avoid speaking about sex, politics and religion. Enter and exit this room only during an applause. Keep your mobile phones on silent mode. Avoid speaking amongst yourself during the speech. And in last speech,
General event.
general.
During the general evaluation, I give that.
Okay, during the general evaluation, I'll give the.
Alright, so now we have a meeting set up for you. I don't think it'll be immaculate, but I promise it'll be exciting, interesting, and full of things to take away. So let's jump right into the prepared speech session. For that, we have two speeches, and for the first speaker, I would like to call their individual evaluator, Toastmaster Shreya, to read out the guidelines.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. The purpose of this project is for the member to learn or review basic methods for writing a speech with a defined purpose and to present a well-organized speech on any topic. Notes for the evaluator. The member completing this project is working to write a speech with a purpose. The speech they create must be well written and clearly focused. Their goal is to meet their express purpose statement with a well-executed speech. The member will present a well-organized and well-delivered speech. The speech may be humorous, informational, or any style the member chooses. The speech, content, and style should work well together. All the best to the speaker and back to the MC.
He is a practicing chartered accountant, an author, and someone on an inspiring mission to secure the financial future of 1 lakh individuals. He has joined Toastmasters with the goal of mastering the art of communication through stories. The speaker is attempting Level 1, Project 2 from the Pathway Presentation Mastery with the speech titled Actions Speak Louder Than Words. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Rahul with a huge round of applause.
We all witnessed a new metro line opening yesterday. Yes or no?
Yes.
What if I told you, you get a chance to meet that person at just 250 rupees? Would you buy that ticket? No? Good boss. So this is exactly possible. If you want to have a meeting set up with any biggest person in this world, you can just do it at rupees 250. And this is possible by just a 4-letter word, which completely transformed my life in this AI world. And the word is B-O-O-K, book. This is as simple as that. Let me tell you how this is working and how I'm connecting this to exactly what I'm trying to say. Books had a defined meaning in my formal education, which started from say age 3 to age 21. We were given there different types of book. I was knowing only 2 books. One is school books and one is Facebook. I don't know if that is termed as AI in today's world. In those school books, we had again multiple categories, but we were forced to write something what our teacher instructed. And we were not interested in studying that. And me as a person was of that kind. I wanted to go out and play. Why you should write someone what they are telling? That same thing followed me in exam also. I was looking for someone who can instruct me to write answers, who can give me answers and all. And in that, I looked for those answer sheets in next bench or side benches. But this thing drastically changed when I took degree, where everyone was writing wrong answers. Then there was a notion like if we write big answers, we get more marks. In CA, this changed completely. If the answer is long, it is wrong. And this is true is something what I'm realizing. But till then, everything was like, book was like lame shit, which no one wants to read. Like even today, if someone says, I randomly ask you to read, no one will do that. But after CA, an WhatsApp message came. Because till then I was using WhatsApp, but it was not that active. A WhatsApp message came from another chartered accountant who was getting a salary of 2.5 lakh rupees per month from stock market. He left that job abruptly. And this happens with all of us. We at some point in time, we are tired saying that no, I don't want to do this, I want to leave. He took that choice and he was sharing something called summaries. What is summaries? Summary is very simple. He would have read that book, made a summary of it in 20 minutes, and he would share that every Wednesday. He was sharing that via WhatsApp. I started reading it. Then WhatsApp banned him because so many people joined. Then it was like socially like, what do I say? In today's world, commercial world, if something is free, who is the product? It's the person who is using that, he is the product, right? But in his case, who's a social entrepreneur, I would say, that was not true. He was giving all those summaries and I started reading. WhatsApp banned him. Then he launched one app, something called Booklet app. He's known as Booklet Guy. He's on a mission to make India read, to make youths of India read. His name is CA Amrut Deshmukh. I don't know if you have heard about him, but I hardly recommend anyone, and he is one person I would recommend anytime and any day. In that app, every Wednesday he launches, a new summary. And you are not given all the book summary at a single shot. Once you read one book, only then you are given access to one more book. Those books are of different genres. Over time, what happened is, I consistently made it a point that I keep reading at least one small paragraph from that book. It changed my life completely. Till then, till age 21, life was boring, black and white, studies, get marks, close. But after reading this, life was suddenly colorful. You started looking at music in everywhere. You started seeing things differently. Because once I start reading that, you're not just reading, you're actually listening. By listening, your perspective opens up and you are going to a new zone altogether. And this can only be experienced. It can't be said. To experience it, you will have to read it. Without reading, nothing can be done. And that's truth in AI also, in world AI also. Continuing the same thing, after reading multiple books, those books were of different country, different culture, I started noticing something. I was able to interact with anyone. That's something I got. After that, my decision making was quite clear. I was, there's something called if bad habits are addictive, they say. He said one thing, if bad habits are addictive, good habits are contagious. And that is something what I felt within myself. Because I was experiencing what all he was saying over time through books. Through books, it is the thoughts of the person which is trying to say. What happened is, those thoughts, those words which I read indirectly impacted my thoughts, those thoughts indirectly impacted my words. Those words indirectly became my action. And in this journey, action has been consistently being taken by me. Suddenly, after completing CA, everything, suddenly one day, my cousins told you, talk nicely, write a book. So within 2 days or 4 days, I wrote a book. I launched it online, got a good review, then launched it offline. It's on Flipkart, Amazon, Facebook, everywhere. Just want to say one thing. Formal education will make you living, but self-education, which starts by reading books, will make you fortune. When I say fortune, it is not just money. It is about the richness in life, which can be your emotional, physical, financial, or spiritual life. With this, I sign off. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rahul, for that inspiring speech. Right, up next, before I call the next speaker, I'd like to request the individual evaluator, DTM MU Bhat, to read out the project guidelines.
Madam Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. This is a speech about the project is inspiring your audience. The purpose statement says the purpose of this project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires others. The purpose of the speech is for the members to inspire the audience. Note for the evaluator, the member needs to present a speech that inspires the audience. The speech content should be engaging and speaker entertaining or moving. The speaker should be aware of the audience response and adapt the speech to as needed. If the member appears to be talking at the audience instead of interacting with them, he or she is not fulfilling the goal of the speech. The time allowed for the speech is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker, and back to Madam Toastmaster.
She is best known in our club for her engaging and relatable stories, her dramatic flair, and evergreen optimism. Professionally, she is an HR manager at Infocon with a strong passion for helping others through her involvement at NGOs and her work in counseling. The speaker is attempting Level 3 elective project from the pathway Innovative Leadership with the speech titled Flow of SEE. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Jyothi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachana, for that wonderful introduction. Three years of practice, and is this your progress? How do you expect to achieve your goal? How do you find this? Now, 3 years of practice, and you have progressed well. Well, I'm sure with consistency and a bit more effort, you will surely reach your goal. Which would you prefer? Second.
Give me motivation.
Isn't it amazing that how a simple word, a gesture, makes a difference and impacts we human life? Good evening, Toastmasters and guests.
Good evening.
In the 1990s, I was a homemaker, leading a mundane and a boring life. The daily chores of cooking and cleaning made no difference to anyone at home. The task of making children complete their homework took most of my time. And above this, I had to pick and drop them to school. Let me tell you, back then in 1990s, women had the moped two-wheeler and men had the trendy scooter Bajaj Chetak. And I was not having a moped, so all I had to do was ride the Bajaj Chetak and drop my children to school. One day, while I was on my way, to drop my children to school, a group of students passing by stopped me. "Whoa, auntie, riding a scooter, great!" One girl with sparkle in her eyes said, "You inspire us. One day when we grow up, we will ride bike. Let's cheer for this scooter auntie. Hip hip, hooray!" Me, who had not been appreciated for many years, this admiration made a shift in my mind. My scooter riding was not ordinary for some. My scooter riding was an inspiration to these youngsters. A smile came on my lip and it stayed there. This in the C, that is the S, stands for smile, which is a byproduct of appreciation, and it lifts up the spirit of both the parties. It occurred to me, the chores that I resented had actually shaped me. The serving of tea and snacks to guests had sharpened my culinary and social skills. Then onwards, with a smile, adorned with a smile obsessed, I began speaking with people, unfamiliar people, during my evening walk. This simple habit became my strength. I started having a network of people with various walks of life, and one such connection invited me to speak to a group of employees in an institute. Let me tell you, I had no corporate formal experience, but I had something much more valuable, life experience. When I spoke to these employees, I understood one thing: they lacked appreciation for the effort they put in both at their work and home front. It is this lack of appreciation which makes us emotionally dependent on others and gives us disappointments in life. I introduced him to the simple act of self-love. Self-love? They found it funny and weird. Who loves themselves? I urged them to practice a simple act. Pat on your back when you complete a task. And when you are satisfied with the task, hug yourself tightly and warmly because you have done it. It sounded simple and weird, but yet, after a few months, one of the employees met me and brightly she said, "Ma'am, I still practice self-hug and it gives me immense pleasure, immense joy because it helps me to keep my family happy and content." The E is the emotional connection with yourself. It is the esteem that rises, and as it rises, it broadens your horizon. The self-value gives us an opportunity, and it was then, on one heavy day with nothing much to do, I saw in a vacant room a group of security personnel chatting away aimlessly. One among them was a young security girl, Amina. I called her to my office. She followed me hesitatingly and uttered, "I am sorry, ma'am." It was easy to put her down, but then I said, "Amina, you have completed your second P. You have potential. Why don't you give a try and work on the desk?" Amina stared at me, looked at me and said, "Ma'am, me, a person who is in security, you are offering me a job at a desk. Will I do it?" "Give it a try, Amina, and you will see the difference." And mark it, my dear friends, the blank page of her life transformed into color of meaningfulness, and one fine day, as she was encouraged, she blossomed and weaved garlands of words. My dear friends, this is the last E, which says encouragement and empowerment. Life does not become rich with power, money, bank balance, but it becomes rich and meaningful with the three C, with the C, the flow of C, the smile that radiates from within, the esteem which rises from within because of our own emotional connection, and the third is the empowerment, and this, as it flows, it is the connection, it is the love with the soul of the humanity. Thank you, and back to the Toastmasters.
Well, I think we can definitely see where you get your smile and good humor from. Thank you, Toastmaster Jyothi. Now, let's shift gears for a bit. Prepare for the unexpected as we dive into a thrilling table topics session. Our table topics master for today is a committed Toastmaster, known for her effervescent and bubbly delivery of speeches. She currently works as an HR professional. When she's not working or working on her speeches, she enjoys traveling and baking. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Sakshi.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rachana, for the beautiful introduction. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Good evening. Today's table topic is themed as AI and I, a modern reflection on our ever-evolving relationship with artificial intelligence. But before we zoom into the future, let me quickly step back and share a short story with you all. A friend of mine applied for her dream job. She was confident, well qualified, and more than ready. But then the interviewer asked, how do you see technology transforming this profile in the next 5 years? She froze. Not because she didn't have an option, but because she had never practiced thinking out loud but about something she hadn't prepared for. Later, she told me, if only I had more chances to think on my feet, I would have nailed it. And that's what is table topics, that's because the table topics exist. They're not just about public speaking, they're about learning to respond under pressure, to think clearly when caught off guard, and to learn uncertainty into clarity and even more comedy. Whether you are answering a tough question in a meeting, explaining ChatGPT to your grandmother, or navigating an unexpected situation, table topics help you to do it with confidence and exposure, and maybe even an immaculate sense of timing. Artificial intelligence is now part of everything. Our playlists, our emails, or even our to-do lists. But today's session is not just about robots or algorithms. It's about you. How you relate to technology, what you think about its role, and how it impacts your life. Some of today's question may reflect you, some may make you imagine, and hopefully one or two may make you laugh. So, ready to test your spontaneity?
Yes.
Okay. So, the first question, or the first topic, if you swap your life with a 5-year-old, how is it going? And the topic goes to Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa. Swap your life with a 5-year-old.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. The subject given is start your life in the 5 years. In 5 years, what I can remember, now I am 78 years old, what I remember when I was 5 years old. I come from a very remote village. My father was an agriculturist. We used to, our old traditions, we used to, this thing, not able to do much, only I used to go for a small village school and studied there. Then my aspiration and goal was to become a doctor. But when I came to the PUC, I took PCM. I was not knowing you have to take PCB. There I was not knowing because there was nobody to guide me. I got a seat in engineering. I completed. You all the best of the know. In my this thing I have told many times how I came to Bangalore without a job with a degree and certificate. Always I believe in luck, not hard work, and this is my favorite subject. Whoever comes to my factory for this thing, Arey Baba, you must have a luck. That has happened in my case. I opened a small industry in a garage with my other colleagues. Then we grew. Today we are at a very great heights. I would like to say luck played me an important role in my this thing. So luck is the most important thing. I always advise my students, you must have a luck. How to get a luck? Be honest, be good thinking, don't think bad, help others, and pray with God. God will help you. Yesterday, while coming in, I couldn't get a car because I went to the electronic city for Modi speech. While coming, I lost my purse in the bus. My wife was scolding. I told you to call the driver and other things. Then Arey Baba, if it is money, I will come back. After some time, after I got a call from very long near Bell. Sir, we have found your purse. I wanted to come tomorrow and give it to you. So it is luck only played in my life. How even though I got a purse, I lost the purse, I got it back. Tomorrow he is going to come me. He is asking one help to give a job to his wife. Let us see what I can do for them. My dear friends, be honest, be sincere, and be with God. Luck definitely comes to you. Don't go in search of it. It will come to you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa. Now the next topic is, imagine one day you wake up and there is no more AI. What changes for you? And the topic goes to Toastmaster Vikram.
Honestly speaking, this is a very difficult topic for me. Morning I wake up and I see a notification on ChatGPT introducing ChatGPT 5. Okay, I open it. And my day begins with that because for any planning I use AI. If I have to go, like, even for cooking I use AI, and anything for purpose. I'm like completely drowned in AI. All I can, even in sleep I sometimes use AI. So obsessed with it. Okay. But here is where it comes a fact. If there was no AI, I feel like my brain is too heavy. Like I cannot carry it. Without AI, like, okay, I have AI, I'll do it. Even my THS, they'll give me some big projects, ma'am, I'll use AI. Okay, but without AI, firstly, I need to learn how to connect with people. Because without AI, like, AI was my whole life. Like, it was everything to me. I have, like, I use ChatGPT, Meta, Gemini, I know almost all types of AI, like Grok. But the difficult part where it comes is I'm not good at socializing. So without AI, like, I'm nothing, totally destroyed. So like, for me, AI is everything. I hope AI doesn't go away. They don't ban AI like how they banned 2G. That's all.
So after hearing Toastmaster Vikram's response on what AI means to him, now I want to give the next topic is, would you ride in a fully AI driven car? Would you ride in a fully AI driven car? And the topic goes to Toastmaster Sameer. You ride in a fully AI driven car.
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and dear guests. fully AI-driven curve. As an engineer, I say yes, because I know how it will work, that AI curve. For this, I would like to share one joke. Actually, engineering students, they made an helicopter. All means HODs and principal all together, they were staying. Someone asked, your students have made this helicopter, can you sit in that? Everyone's scared, almost all lecturers are scared to sit there because their first project is. But principal is there, no, he went and sit. Okay, I don't have any fear, I can sit. Then ask, everyone's caring to sit in a helicopter. Why are you sitting? I know my students, if it take off so, then I have to scare. I know it will don't take off. So, that's
Thank you, Toastmaster Sami. The next topic is solo trips equals to self-care. Solo trips equals to self-care, and the topic goes to Toastmaster Madhusudan.
Right off the bat, I'd like to say I do not like solo trips. My definition of self-care is actually buying something for myself, having good food, getting good sleep, and watching movies that I like. But we're talking about solo trips, so let me talk about what I did last week. I wasn't here, for those of you who noticed. I was away in Pune. So I was visiting a friend, and coincidentally, there was a run happening. So I had signed up for the 10K run, and what I thought was, because given the recent Air India crash and whatnot, I am a bit stressed out when I have to fly. So I decided, let me just book a bus and go. So I left on a Friday evening here, and I decided to take the bus. It was supposed to be a 14-hour ride, but it ended up being close to 17 hours. And the roads, the lesser I talk about the roads, the better. So I reached eventually, and I was able to count all the 206 bones in my body, and you know, in Pune, good weather, whatnot, but I realized one thing while I was in the bus, that I am not made for solo traveling, because I'm a bit suspicious, because even in the bus, while we had stopped for dinner, I'm like, what if someone takes my bag? What if someone takes my laptop inside? So it just plays on my mind. It's not a good scene, and you know, I just don't have a good time that way. So I would say solo traveling, never, not my idea of self-care. Probably going to the chat shop here and having a pani puri, yes, that is solo self-care. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Madhusudan. The next topic is, are introverts better listeners? Are introverts better listeners? And the topic goes to Toastmaster Aadishwar.
So, good evening, Toastmasters, and welcome, dear guests. So, are introverts better listeners? Sometimes yeah, sometimes no, because they don't know what to express. So, how will they listen and judge you? They will just listen. Oh, he's telling, I'm getting bored. Will you go? No, even I want to go. But you know, I don't think introverts are good listeners, because if you can't express, you don't know how the person will feel, right? I feel extroverts are good listeners because, you know, they will help you, they will suggest you, they will listen to you, they will guide you, they will suggest you, do this, do that. But introverts now, they're not good at talking, they feel shy. So listening, that's a big headache for them. Like, bro, you please go, I don't want to listen to you, give me my own space. So I don't feel introverts are good listeners. Me being an extrovert, yeah, definitely, I stay far away from introverts. You know, I try going to them, like, yeah, how are you? Good. What's your plan? Nothing. I'm like, bro, tell something else. You ask me something, make a conversation. And he's like, No, nothing, bro. Just nothing. So I'm like, you your way, me my way, bro. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Aadishwar, for your lovely response. And the next topic is, could you fall in love with an AI? The topic goes to Toastmaster Suresh.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Do I fall in love with artificial intelligence? When social media started, it's my experience wherein messaging, making friends, that was very new concept in my era. This was the situation other than the SMS. On the short messages or on the phone calls we used to, it was easy for us to identify it's actually a human or even a man or a woman for that matter. Since this social media came into picture, that was Orkut in those days, where even a man used to pose as a woman, posing some woman picture and started chatting. I was all excited. All of a sudden a girl is chatting with me. Fair enough, I was excited. Now we come to another era here, where it's actually not a human who's operating everything, which is making fall in love with the new applications which are in picture, calling a dating app or anything for that matter. Here you see, you're not able to identify it's actually a human or an artificially intelligent created person. Madam Toastmaster rightly said, you need to see the fingers. So today we are living in the era, we need to see the fingers to identify whether I'm in love with the artificial intelligence or the real person. So, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Suresh. The next topic is the moment that felt like magic. The moment that felt like magic, and the topic goes to Toastmaster Dishitha.
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters, and welcome guests. So the topic is the moment that felt like magic. Talking about what my previous fellow Toastmaster just said, about getting so excited about receiving responses from the other person, especially when that is of a woman. So we all know that in college we all love to play pranks with each other, right? So one such incident was also something that happened very familiar to me. So one of my friends wanted to play a prank on the other person, and what he did was he created an account in the name of a woman and he texted with that person, and it had been going on for around 10 days and they would talk to each other day and night. He would wait relentlessly for the responses. And he was so surprised about the responses because they were so immaculate. But he couldn't resist, but he always kept talking to that person. Later he realized that, the responses are coming from one of my friends and it is not exactly a woman. But the beauty of the present situation is that we still talk to AI knowing that it is an artificial person, but we still talk to it and get the same response. So we've come to that position where I think an example we can make out of this is how much we are drifting away from people, social behavior and all that, that even though we know that we're not talking to an actual person and the other person may not be acknowledging our feelings, we are still opening up to them because that is how much we need to be in a society, to feel loved and all that. So I think although AI has transformed our lives drastically, it has also provided a sense of comfort to a lot of people. But we need to remember that nothing replaces actual people, actual connections. And though it can drift us away from real connections, it might feel like magic and really good, but we need to use these things that a moderation and understand that nothing can replace real human connection. Thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dishitha. The next topic is one app you would delete forever. One app you would delete forever, and the topic goes to Toastmaster Deepa.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. And that one app I would delete is Instagram. And people can relate to it. As soon as I open Instagram, I can keep scrolling for an hours and hours. I don't even know how the time is going. I mean, that one app which always makes me disturbed and sometimes feels happy and sometimes feels I'm wasting so much of time. And in fact, I have deleted sometimes and then suddenly I'm like, I'm missing this app. I should download it. Again, I'll start downloading it. And for a week, I'll start using it. And I started, encountering the timings as well every day, how much time I use the apps. Every weekly Sunday, I see how much time I used this entire app for this entire week. So that one app I permanently want to delete is Instagram. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. The next topic is, if emotions were a language, which one do you speak? And the topic goes to Toastmaster Gajendra.
Very tough one, to be honest. Usually my go-to emotion is humor, because that is what it is. But actually I'm a very emotional person. Before Toastmaster, like before a few years ago. And then, okay, this is going somewhere else, I'll come back somewhere. Okay, emotions, I think I like humor the most. Humor is where I speak out aloud, because I feel like I'm very immaculate in it. And I think, people like to laugh more than crying. Who likes crying here? Try laughing once. And humor, you can connect with people better when you're, making someone laugh. For example, if I want to ask someone a question, for example, I'm meeting Anish for the first time, and if I want to ask him something, if I make him laugh and ask him, I think the proper chance of you giving me the honest answer is more than if I generally just asked you. So I think that is my sense of language. I like to talk in humor, and I don't like to talk in too much other way, because it opens doors you don't want to see. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Gajendra. The next topic is photography, a memory or a story. Photography, a memory or a story. Any of the guests would like to respond to this topic?
Thank you, everyone. My name is Anish. So recently, since our topic this week is AI, I actually wanted to talk about this new feature on a lot of these Google phones, these Pixel phones, where essentially you can take a photo and you can edit it by adding all kinds of, you can add all kinds of elements to the photo. Like if you are standing in front of a field, you can just add like a tree behind you. You can add a hot air balloon or something in the sky. And it really got people asking the question, what is a photograph anymore? Like photographs used to be, essentially they used to be completely immutable. You couldn't take a photograph and change it. You could doctor them, of course, but that was a pretty difficult procedure, and even photoshopping something requires some element of skill if you want it to be really immaculate. But when you take something like a photograph that you can just edit on your phone, you can just say, hey, just put Modi next to me here for this, and I just for this meet and greet or something like that. It starts to bring it really starts to make you question, like, what are we gonna really believe when we see these things online? Because the real fear of AI and fake news these days is not so much that we'll believe the wrong thing, but it's that we'll actually start to disbelieve anything that we actually see online. When we read something online, we immediately ask the question: was this AI generated? Was this fake news? So even real news can get completely lost in the complete, the barrage of fake news that we're getting, which is just AI generated within a matter of seconds. So it really calls into question, like, what kind of stories are we telling when we are so easily able to edit and change photographs according to our whims and fancies. Thank you.
Thank you everyone for your amazing thoughts and responses on the topic. Whether you view AI as a helping tool, a fascinating mystery, or something to keep an eye on, today reminded us that our human voice is what gives technology a true meaning. Let's not strive for perfection or even an immaculate response, just honesty, curiosity, and a connection. With that, back to the table topic. Toastmasters of the day.
Thank you, Toastmaster Sakshi, for that engaging and pretty insightful session. Okay, now we've come to the part we've all been waiting for secretly. We have about 10 minutes for the break. Yeah, all right, let's regather here after 10 minutes. Thanks. All right, well, I think I at least had a fantastic break. The Madhusudhan day was really good. Toastmaster Shuba.
Yes.
Alright, now I hope all of us had time to refuel and network. Let's get to the critical part of the meeting, the evaluation session. For that, I'd like to introduce our general evaluator. He currently works as an US CPA at RSM US LLP. Aside from being a past president, he is known amongst our members for his award-winning humorous speeches, interesting evaluations, and engaging table topics. Anyone interested in a game of cricket, badminton, or geography debates, he's your person to call. Please join me in welcoming Toastmaster Shivaprasad.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Rachana, for that amazing introduction. A very good evening to my fellow Toastmasters and esteemed guests in the room. Starting off with the final session for today's meeting, which is the general evaluation. And I must say, the theme AI and I, extremely relevant to current scenarios. And I had the pre-notion in mind that this is going to be something which is going to be generic and boring and stuff, but it has completely blown out of the window. So now, getting started with the general evaluation, our business session commenced at 6:23 p.m., which is a bit late by usual standards. Given that the weather was a little threatening, but it was not raining, we should have started on time at 6:15 p.m. And what I noticed was that although our committee members were in the room, role takers were yet to arrive on time. So maybe from next week onwards, the VP Education and the other committee members can take note of this and ensure that you're messaging people, you're reminding them that you have to be on time. We have to start at 6:15 p.m. and if not at 6:15, we can aim at 6:15 so that we are somewhere close to 6:15. So the business session commenced, and then the VP made her announcement of the roles booked for next week. And what I have to commend is a lot of roles have been booked. So this is very nice to see that we are getting back to normal ways here at Mekon Communication Club. people are taking up speech slots, and it is getting back to that point where you will have to wait a couple of weeks before giving a speech, so that is nice to see. And of course, she made the announcement about the Moments of Truth session, which is happening on the 25th of August. Especially for all our members, we will have just a set of questions, and you can decide how well we are doing as a club, or we need to change something, we need to improve somewhere. And all of you are paying your membership fees, I'm sure, so you will get the best for your money by attending that session and helping improve what happens here at Mekon Communication Club. After all, we are a voluntary organization and we need to help ourselves improve meetings here at the club. Business session is concluded, and then at 6:26 p.m. our acting Sergeant at Arms Toastmaster Shuba took over. Now she's doing this probably for the very first time, and I saw her, she was here nice and early, she was prepping up the room, writing there on the board, so doing the basic duties that a Sergeant at Arms needs to do. And today I must declare that this is the loudest and most enthusiastic that I've seen Toastmaster Shuba here at the lectern. And she just started off by saying, "Unless you've been living under a rock." And it just grabbed our attention from there. And there was a little joke in between. The word Korean is attached to everything and anything. So you might have had Korean bun here in the local bakeries, nothing to do with Korea. And then the relatable story about parents watching YouTube video on TV and them believing that what they were seeing was true. And this experience actually hit home. This year, earlier in February, I was with my grandmother and she was watching a YouTube short, and she suddenly called me. There was this festival happening in the north of India. I don't know if you've heard of it. People just go and take a dip in the river, and she just showed it to me that Shiva, Salman Khan is taking a dip in the river Ganges. And I just saw what she was looking at, and it was AI generated. So it's gotten really scary these days. So that was a wonderful story, and an ending with a rhetorical question. Beautifully done. The Sergeant at Arms is supposed to grab the attention of the audience. You're like the captain of the team when a cricket match is about to begin. You give that pep talk, you charge everyone up, and you start the meeting. And that's why Sergeant at Arms is also a leadership position. So you have excelled and done exceedingly well, Toastmaster Shuba, today here as the acting Sergeant at Arms. And for a job wonderfully well done, can we give her a strong round of applause? Moving on, she introduced the president, and again a humorous introduction, something that I've been longing for, something that I've been missing for a very long time. She's hard to regenerate with AI, and she prefers taking the stairs. Such a funny line, at the same time not demeaning, at the same time keeping up the respect of the president. The sergeants, if you're watching the video, and anybody who's going to take up a role of introducing the president, you can take notes here. You can make the introduction of the president interesting in certain ways, because you'll be doing it for 25-26 weeks at a stretch for 6 months. So that was also wonderfully done. And then our president came here at the lectern, and all I have to say to her to start off is, please take a breath. She started off well with the guest introduction. We had all our guests, they took the cue, all of them one by one, they stood up and they introduced themselves, so they did really well. Well done on that for the president as well. And then there was Toastmaster Madhusudan reading out the minutes of the previous meeting. And I have to commend the attention to detail, the meticulous way in which he has noted everything. He could have easily skimmed through the business session there while reading it out, and nobody would have probably noticed. But he made it a point to note all that and read it out in the minutes, showing you the quality of a good secretary. So for the formalities done, can we give Toastmaster Madhusudan also a good round of applause? And then we moved on to the presidential address by our acting president, Toastmaster Apoorva, who, like our sergeant, is also doing this for the very first time. The moment she stepped here and started off her speech after opening the meeting, first thing that struck me was that she was loud and clear, and that there was no stoppage in between, and that she was going on and on clearly about the topic that she was willing to speak on, and that is one quality of a president. You are loud, clear, authoritative, and you are trying to drive your point home by giving your speech. Now, what was Toastmaster Apoorva trying to tell us? Although I should not be delving too deep into the presidential address, she tried to say that authenticity is the key at the end of the day. Don't rely too much on artificial intelligence and look to do things on your own. Ask for directions on your own, prepare your speeches on your own, stuff like that. And you try to conclude by saying that authenticity is the key. Now, here's the thing. You said that for this very speech of yours, you have used the help of artificial intelligence. And then you go on to say that authenticity is the key. That somewhere it felt a little mismatched to me. If you had given a story about where you could have easily used AI to do something, but despite that, I didn't use it. I struggled, I forged my way through, and I did something on my own. Therefore, authenticity is the key, my fellow Toastmasters. Presidential address has hit home, right? So that could have been done, but irrespective of that, you delivered that address even though you were doing it for the first time, and I have to commend you on your job. Well done, Toastmaster Apoorva, and you will be the future president if in the next 6 months, and I can see that you have taken it to the role as like a fish to water. So can we have a good round of applause for Toastmaster? Moving on, Toastmaster Apoorva went on to introduce our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Rachana. And before I get to her evaluation, has the ballot been sent out in the Google groups? I mean the WhatsApp group. I request all of you to take out your phones and vote for the best speaker and best table topic speaker. And please do not submit the ballot yet because the other role takers are yet to do their jobs. Okay, assuming all of you have done it, let us get started. The first session that we had was the prepared speech session, and we had 2 speeches today. The first speech was a level 1 project delivered by Toastmaster Rahul Gandhi, and it has been evaluated by Toastmaster Shreya. Before I call you here, have you received the project guidelines well in advance?
Yes.
Great. Can I have your evaluation?
Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, and a good evening to the target speaker, Toastmaster Rahul. Congratulations on finishing your speech. So, the way I would like to structure this evaluation is by dividing it into 3 parts. One is the things that you did well, the things that you can improve, and things that you can do to challenge yourself. So, your speech was mainly centered around how reading and how books have impacted the actions that you take in your life. That being said, I won't dive into the content of your speech. So coming to the things you did well, you came onto the stage super confidently, and we could see it in your demeanor that you were not uncomfortable on stage. And your flow of thought and words while you were here at the lectern was very smooth. You didn't have to stop to think about something. So that shows me that you've practiced the speech well. One more thing that I appreciate, especially at your level, is the eye contact that you had with the entire audience. I didn't feel like you stuck to one place, so you didn't really have eye contact at all. It was pretty well distributed throughout the audience. I also loved your involvement of humor in the speech. One where you said school book versus Facebook, as well as one where you compared the answer of writing in school, like long answers means the answer is correct. However, in the CA exam, long answers are wrong. That was also a nice implementation of humor in your speech. And I also loved how you sprinkled different quotes throughout your speech, whether it be in the middle where you said, if bad habits are addictive, good habits are contagious, or how you ended your speech with the quote about formal education. That also is done well. Things that I think you can improve on is your pausing and your pacing. So it was kind of difficult to distinguish the conclusion of your speech from the body, because you didn't kind of give a pause after the body had ended before you started your conclusion. That was difficult for me to distinguished. And I also felt like your speech title didn't really match your content of the speech. Your speech was mainly about, books and words. So I feel like maybe something like words are more powerful than actions would have been a better suited title rather than actions are, louder than words. And one thing you can do to challenge yourself is making your speech more cohesive with transitions and pauses. So with that, thank you and back to the general.
Thank you, Toastmaster Shreya. I felt those observations made by you were apt and sufficient for the speech given by Toastmaster Rahul. Considering that this is his just his second speech in Toastmasters, I felt 2 points for improvement was perfect. Now here is one suggestion that I can give you. You gave one, you told him what he did well. You gave a couple of points for improvement. Can you conclude it all with a summary so that it gets reinforced in his head? And that is what separates a great evaluation from a good one. And coming to Toastmaster Rahul, I'm not supposed to evaluate your speech, but all I can say is that you seem to be a natural. And we would love to see and hear more speeches from your side. And can we give a tremendous round of applause for the evaluator and our speaker. Moving on to our second speaker today, it was by Toastmaster Jyothi, Level 3 elective project, and it is being evaluated by distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat. Before I call you up, sir, can I ask you if you have received the guidelines in advance?
Yes.
Can I have your evaluation?
Mr. General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, welcome guests, and Toastmaster Jyothi in particular. Before I start, let me congratulate you on one thing. It requires courage to repeat a speech because you are not satisfied with your earlier speech. You did that precisely today. I congratulate you for that. Not many, it was a norm in our club 20 years back, but now we have stopped it, we pass it automatically. But you chose to repeat a speech. That's something really great. Now, having said so, let me evaluate your speech under 2 heads or 3 heads, you may say, improvement and challenge, of course, and why you did really well. One thing is your whole speech came out, it was truly inspirational. Number one, about your how you dealt with the most important thing in inspiration is first you have to love yourself. Appreciating others starts with first appreciating yourself. Then you say the smile is the one which creates an impression. It appreciates the appreciated person, then empower that person. That came out very well throughout the speech in your body. Couple of incidents, starting from your own life, you started about how that when you drove the motorcycle, scooter, Chetak, thing, and how they were encouraged and how the smile, it went on and this and so. Second thing about that, the story of Amina, where you encouraged the security lady to come up in life, and because of your encouraging words. So the conclusion also, you talked about your connected to the title. Smile, encourage and empower. See. And your opening was really, really powerful because you told about 2 incidents where a simple change in voice modulation changed the whole behavior or how the reception of you receive the other person, how he gets encouraged and empowered. That came out really well and introduced to the subject. Now, having said all that, where could you have done differently or improved yourself? Number one is I talked to you during break and you said that you wanted to avoid as much as gestures and you want to concentrate on voice modulation. Voice modulation was excellent, exemplary for all the things except for 2 things, your comfort level and your gestures. You deliberately avoided gestures and taking care of the stage, whereas this is your strong point. What is important is your flamboyance was missing today. The flamboyance is required particularly for a inspiring speech where you can totally inspire a speech to get that fire ignited in you. Yes, next time I should see, I should smile, I will encourage and I should empower the other persons. That really came out, message came out, but that flamboyance put down to that extent. That's the only thing I got suggestion. And your conclusion also, somewhere it was did not come as powerfully as I would have anticipated for an inspiring speech. Let's see what you explained. And you could have definitely ended with that. Next time you meet another person, first smile, encourage and empower him. that will take a sea of change in his life. That would have created a different picture altogether. But overall, I feel your speech met all the guidelines of the particular speech. You did excellently. I thoroughly enjoyed it. But with these what suggestions I give, we can take it to the next level. Congratulations and back to you.
Thank you, distinguished Toastmaster U Bhat. Again, as I'd say for Shreya's evaluation, I also felt that this one was apt, and given that I've seen Toastmaster Jyothi for over 3 years now, I too felt that you were not in your usual flamboyant self today. But nothing to take away from a great speech that you've delivered and a wonderful evaluation by Master himself. Can we give both our speaker and evaluator a wonderful round? Moving on, let us get into the evaluation of the table topics master, Toastmaster Sakshi. Toastmaster Sakshi, as usual, as described by Toastmaster Jyothi's speech, comes here with a smile, and that does make a difference, let me tell you, week after week. When you see her cheerful attitude here on a Monday evening after having drowned in work the entire day, it feels good. Now, Toastmaster Sakshi started off by telling us all a story about her friend preparing for an interview, and one suggestion that I can give her on this part is, can you cut down on that initial introduction as the table topics master, and you can get directly to the point, since we have what, 10 speakers today, and we are aiming to end our meetings by 8:15 p.m. Can you try and cut down on those initial descriptions that you give as a table topics master, and straight away say, today's session is going to be based on the theme AI and I, and let us see how well all of you have assimilated yourself with technology today, or how well you take, or what are the problems that you face with technology today, and straight away dive into the session. I felt that could have been better, but nonetheless the story you narrated was really interesting. Moving on to the topics themselves, really nice topics. Swap your life with a 5-year-old. What would you do if suddenly there's no AI one day? I really like the topics and the choice of the speakers as well. Now, where could you improve coming to the topics? I would suggest refraining from posing topics as a question. Would you ride a full AI driven car? So Toastmaster Samir can come here and say yes. His response is done. Right? So instead of that, maybe you can say AI driven cars versus people driven cars. And that's the topic. Are introverts better listeners? Again, Toastmaster Aadishwar can come here and say yes, although he said no. He can say yes, and the response is done. Introverts are better listeners. Topic is posed. Could you fall in love with AI? Again, you can pose it as a statement. Fall in love with a real person or with artificial intelligence. That can give the person more room to speak. So I would refrain from posing table topics as a question. Other than that, Toastmaster, we also had very good responses from our guest today. Very good response from our guest, Toastmaster Anish, and I really liked the session overall. So for a job well done, can we give Toastmaster Sakshi a good round of applause? Now that we're done with the table topics master, can we move on to the TAPG role takers, the minor role takers, nevertheless the more important role takers in every week's meeting. Let me start off by calling our counter, Toastmaster Deepa, on stage.
Good evening, Toastmasters and guests. Today I'll try to give immaculate report. Toastmaster Shuba used 4 times R and repeated words okay. Acting President Apoorva 1 R and crunch words you know that, and 1 pause. Toastmaster Rachana 2 R's, 1 and repeated words now. Toastmaster Samir 2 R's. Toastmaster Gajendra flawless. Toastmaster Vikram flawless. Toastmaster Rahul 1 R and crunch words this thing, na, something. Toastmaster Shreya 1R, repeated words so, you know. Toastmaster DTM Bhat 1R, Toastmaster Jyothi flawless, Toastmaster Sakshi 2 R's, Toastmaster Veerabhadrappa, repeated words sum of this thing. Toastmaster Vikram, okay, like, repeated words. Toastmaster Samir 1R, repeated words but. Toastmaster Madhusudan 2 R's, repeated words and but. Toastmaster Aadishwar, repeated words so. Suresh, repeated words so. Toastmaster Dishitha, repeated words so and. Toastmaster Gajendra, 1 arm, repeated words so I think, so and I think. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, Toastmaster Deepa. I know this is your first time taking up the role, but what I really appreciate is you trying to stand up and introduce your role, integrating it with the theme AI, and also making an effort to use the word of the day, immaculate. So our future TAPG role takers can take a leaf out of this book, page out of this book, and try and emulate, try and make your introductions to the role sort of interesting, so that it is not monotonous week after week. Next, can I have the report from our timer, Toastmaster Samir?
Good evening, fellow Toastmaster and their guests. Here is the time management report. Meeting started at 6:23 p.m. and welcome by Sergeant Earl. Toastmaster Shuba. Allotted time is 2 minutes. Taken by 2 minutes 42 seconds. And President address Toastmaster Apoorva ma'am. Allotted time is 5 minutes and time taken by 4 minutes 7 seconds. Minutes of meeting reports. Report on previous meeting. Toastmaster Madhusudhan. Allotted time is 2 minutes and time taken is 3 minutes 6 seconds. Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Rachana ma'am. Allotted time is 20 minutes. Time taken by 14 minutes 7 seconds. And speakers, Toastmaster Rahul. Allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. Time taken is precisely 7 minutes. And speaker Jyothi ma'am. Time allotted time is 5 to 7 minutes. Time taken is 7 minutes 47 seconds. And Evaluator Toastmaster Shreya. Allotted time is 2 minutes. Time taken is 2 minutes 30 seconds. And DTM MU Bhat sir. Allotted time is 2 minutes. Time taken is 3 minutes 30 seconds. And table topics masters TN Sakshi ma'am. Total time allotted time is for table topics is 20 minutes. It is total time taken is 22 minutes and table topic time each person is taken. Toastmaster is listed on table board.
Thank you, Toastmaster Samir. I'm sure you heard that applause right now, and that can tell us that this was a man who came here, I think 2 or 3 weeks back. He went back without answering a table topic. Today he stood here, answered it in English, and he's also taken up the role of the timer for today for the very first time. And I know there were a couple of mistakes while raising the flags, but trust me, we do it even after 2-3 years in Toastmasters. Moving on to our next role taker, let me call up our Grammarian, Toastmaster Gajendra.
I'll just jump straight to the report. The word of the week was used by Toastmaster Apoorva, Toastmaster Rachana, Toastmaster Deepa, Toastmaster Sakshi, Toastmaster Dishitha, myself, and our guest Anish. And the good usages, I think I picked it up from Toastmaster Rahul's speech. That was good habits are addictive and bad habits are contagious. And one bad use was lame shit. You can just say lame. I know that the other word shows emotion, but here we try to control them. That is fine. And one more bad, this one I think was a mistake by Shiva, that was leave out of this book. I don't know what you were thinking there. You don't do this usually, but yeah, then that's it. Then the meeting was immaculate. Thank you.
After telling us 3 not so good usages, he says meeting was immaculate. Toastmaster Gajendra, I really appreciate you taking up the role of Grammarian in the first place. I know there was a little bit of difficulty in taking it up, but you took it up nevertheless, and I felt that little joke that you cracked in the beginning deserved a little more laughter. Nevertheless, you've done a comprehensive job and good job on calling out the usage of a word that's not appropriate here. To Toastmaster Rahul, you can, or anybody who, I know there is no good replacement for such words, right? But you can replace them by saying really lame, or something like that, wherein you can cut out the usage of words that you could consider not appropriate in an environment like Toastmasters. Anyways, let's move on to our next role taker, the Parliamentary Procedure Evaluator, Toastmaster Vikram.
Firstly, thank you everyone for your well behavior. I did notice some people using phones unnecessarily, like during speeches of Toastmaster Jyothi and Sakshi, Toastmaster Sakshi ma'am and Toastmaster Gajendra sir.
23.
During that time, okay. I can't like really point out and tell used it, but I hope that person gets to know he was using the phone. I think he's no more. I mean, he left. Okay, so I think that one thing can be avoided, but the behavior was perfect, and I think some people shouldn't really make jokes when speeches. That's all.
Thank you, Toastmaster Vikram. He's also a first-time role taker today, and I really appreciate how seriously he has taken his role up and he's treated it like he's the class monitor today. And I know as a young person, you feel a little bit of that fear in your heart, when you're calling people by their name directly. But you will eventually get used to this as you're part of Toastmasters, and that sir, ma'am will drop off that suffix that you give to people. Anyway, in a few years you'll be working in some corporate company, and this is the norm everywhere. So, job well done. Now, we had 3 debutant TAPG role takers who've done phenomenally well, and also Toastmaster Gajendra. Can we give a good round of applause for our team? And finally, I come to the evaluation of the person who's given this theme for today, Toastmaster Rachana. What a warm and comforting Master of Ceremonies we've had for today, doing everything comprehensively, not missing out a single step that is required to be done as the Master of Ceremonies, giving each and every person's sufficient and adequate introduction, or calling out the evaluator to read the project guidelines before the speaker comes on stage. Everything was done brilliantly well. And the story that she narrated in the beginning about should I use AI, and I haven't become that reliant on AI, but most people have become, and she proved this through the survey that was done, or the research that was done based on AI usage, and she said people used AI to read that as well. So that was a brilliant story that she used to drive her point home, which is that you must ask better questions. I felt that hit the nail on the head for today's scenario. The question is not whether I should use AI. The question is how do I use it strategically? Because AI has become part of our lives. It's not a question anymore. The question is, how can I improve myself and use it as a weapon rather than it attacking me and reducing my capabilities? And she transitioned very smoothly to the introduction of Ralph C. Smedley, the person who founded Toastmasters 100 years ago in the United States, and the job was very well done. Now I know Toastmaster Rachana is someone who speaks with an intellectual touch. She has a lot of knowledge to give to all of us, and she patiently likes standing here and describing everything that I was thinking about sending an email in office and all those descriptions, and I really liked listening to it. But as the master of ceremonies, as the person who's conducting the meeting, what I can ask you, or what I can ask the future MCs, is can you throw in a bit of enthusiasm into the mix? Can you come here as soon as you're introduced and say, there was this study done on artificial intelligence, how we can reduce the usage. And guess what happened? People used artificial intelligence to read that study in itself. And that's how you start and then delve into your introduction as the master of ceremonies and then into Ralph C. Smedley. So can you take steps to gauge the interest of the audience and engage them further in the meeting? And that's just a minor point that I have to point out, but you've done a job brilliantly well. Can we give a thunderous round of applause for our master of ceremonies? And with that, I think I've come to the end of the general evaluation. I request everyone to take your phones out again and fill in the rest of the ballot if you haven't submitted it by now. And vote for the best role takers and evaluators. Okay, presume all of you have done it. And just to conclude, the word of the day, word of the week is immaculate. Immaculate is something that only AI would aspire to be. And we as humans are not as immaculate as probably artificial intelligence can be, and that is what makes us human. That is what separates us, and that is what makes all this worthwhile and beautiful, coming here and meeting on a Monday evening. With that, I'd like to hand the charge back to our Master of Ceremonies, Toastmaster Rachana.
I love to see everyone's interesting takes on the theme. I liked how you incorporated it into your table topics, into your speeches, into anything you said. I don't know if we have any answers, but I think we are all slowly stumbling our way towards one. And as many people said today, it all is in the general vicinity of our human authenticity and what it ultimately means to be human. So, with that, I would like to hand the charge back to our President, Toastmaster Apoorva.
I request everybody to vote. I hope everybody's voted. And I also see a guest in our room. Please introduce yourself. Tell us how you got to know about the club and what you do.
Myself, Kumar. I was searching for the Toastmaster club nearby the locality. So I used to visit one of the Toastmasters in Yelahanka few years back. And to improve my communication skills, I was searching, and I didn't join the meeting. So I think after 5-6 months, so today the day came, and that too I came very late. So I work in Electron City. I travel from there, and I stay in Kanakpura Road near Palagapura. I work for a company called Sinji as a payroll manager.
Now coming to the most wonderful part of the meeting and the most anticipated as well. Before that, I must say it was one of the one of the most amazing meetings. It was a great, it was an immaculate session by Toastmaster Rachana with a great transitions and introduction. And followed by energetic table topic session by Toastmaster Sakshi and thoughtful and detailed evaluations by Toastmaster Shiva. I must also congratulate both the speakers on that amazing speeches, which was very well prepared in advance. And we also witnessed some great individual evaluations. Coming to the winners of the week, the best TAPG role taker is Toastmaster Deepa. And the best evaluator is the humorous king of our club, DTM U Bhat. And the best table topic speaker is our newcomer Toastmaster Deepa. The best MTG role taker is someone who's a great observer and gives unfiltered evaluation, Toastmaster Shiva. And the best speaker is someone who's always filled with positivity and is known for a dramatic flair, Toastmaster Jyothi. With that, we come to the end of the wonderful meeting number 1329.